Hello YouTube, welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and we're going to start part 2 of the bandsaw treadmill motor upgrade revisited part 2. So hope you guys are having a good day. So we'll go ahead and get started on this. So basically what we're going to do is I found some stands that look like this. I found 2 of them just like that, and they've got the countersunk screws, but the countersunk screws are too short. So what we're going to do is I tested this to see if it was going to work. Unscrew that and set that inside there just like that, and this almost comes up to the edge of this, so I've got plenty of threads to work with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a longer screw that will go through here all the way through the plate that's on the bandsaw itself, and then on the other side we'll countersink it. We're probably going to have to take this thing clear apart to be able to countersink it, because we may not be able to get a drill in there with the bandsaw in the all the way up position. I think it's going to be in the way. It might not be, but our plan is to find a longer one of these that will come up through the other side of the bandsaw in the face, up through here, and come out far enough that we can thread this down on and pretend that that bolt's coming through there just like that. We'll just thread this down on there in both this side and that side. That way, once we have our stands here, we can make a piece of shielding to go over top of this. So we're still going to have the lugs sticking out, because I'm going to have to cut a hole in the plastic piece that we're going to use here to miss this. There's no way of getting around that. I'm not going to rearrange all this, so we're just going to have to live with that. Maybe we can make something else that mounts to the plate that kind of just comes up and overlaps it. We might be able to do something like that. So that's what our plan is to do. So right now we need to drill a hole in this in the center of one of these fins. So thank God that center one is right in the center. So we're going to drill a hole in the center all the way through on both sides. Alright, so we've done changed our mind again. Now we know we got this rib in the middle here. I couldn't find any longer screws than that, and they're still not long enough to reach through the body of this and to reach through all this. So basically what I'm going to do is flatten the 2 sides of this screw head so that it fits in between these ribs. Alright, and then we're going to drill a hole in the middle, and then we're just going to mount this to the control box itself. Alright, so we'll do that, and we'll be right back. Alright, so now what we've done is we've flattened 2 sides of both screws, and we're going to drop that in there. We can still put a Phillips screw or Phillips head so now we can't bottom out because the screw's going down through it too far, so we're going to have to put a washer underneath of it so to bring it up, because remember, when we put this there, it's just below that a little bit, so it's going to be about the width of a washer. So we're going to put a thick washer right there. Alright, so we're going to put a washer right there. Then we're going to try that. Might have to go another one. Now we don't need the screw on it or screwdriver on there anymore because we flattened the sides on it. So now we got to tighten that up. So now we're just taking, just snug that. That's all you really need to do. So now you can see that the top of this is at the top of this, straight across there. Alright, it's just a little hair low, but that'll give you some pressure. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and put this one on. And the screwdriver is just to hold it in place. Alright, so now we put another washer on there. And we'll tighten this one up. Alright, so now we've got both of our stands on there. So now when I go to make my plate to go over it, I got these little balls that screws on there, and that will hold the shield that we make, which is going to be out of some plastic. I'll show you right now. As you guys remember, I got this stuff. I had a whole bunch of these, so we can just take and make us a plate that will cover just about all of it. It's a shame that the transformer is taller. We could have covered it all, but that's alright. We can take and mount them down on there. These wires need to be put in a different orientation. So that's going to be something like that right there, and we'll just make this plate to go across and just kind of go around. I might just do just a piece to go across here. I think that's what I'm going to do because it's already the right width or length. So basically all I got to do is just cut it straight across there, cut it straight across there, and then cut it right there. And that'll give us our piece to use as a cover. So let's see if we can fit this in here so we can keep all this contained in the box. It will, but I'm going to have to switch washers. I couldn't find two washers the same size, so I'm going to have to take this washer and put it on this side, and this washer and put it on that side, and then I can mount the bridge rectifier right there, and that'll be inside the housing. So that's what we're going to do. Alright guys, now what we've done here is on the bottom side of this, I had to drill a hole here and a hole here, and then I just took it into the mill and milled that rib off in that area. So now we've got our stands mounted for our cover, and the reason I went through here and cut this rib down because I wanted it to be on the other side of this to give myself a little more room for this nut, because if I'd have put it over here, once I put my plate on it, then it's going to be in the way of the nut, and I like to have a little more room than that, so I decided to move it over one. So now we've got that. We're going to use, instead of doing a countersink on the other side, we're just going to do this, thread it in, and then once it's tight and we go to the other top side, we can just take the grinder and grind the head off of it to where it's level with the table without hitting the table. Of course, you don't want to nick your paint. But probably got to find the hole though. Alright, so we got these tight, this tight, and now we've got our plate that goes on there. So when we put our plate on there, we're going to put a washer on there, just like so. We'll put a plate on there, and we'll put our other washer on top of that, our other washer on top of that, and we'll put our, I might change that to regular nuts, and there we got that covered. Now we got this to put on there. So I did the same thing with that. I drilled 2 holes, tapped them out, 1/4 20, and I found these little stubby screws that we're hoping that are already flush, and I ain't got to do no grinding on them. Alright, so then we put this screw in place. Alright, tighten them up. And we're far enough away from that we can get to our nut on both sides. 75 degrees today. I just had that on heat on long enough to warm it up in here, and I forgot to turn it off, and now it's too hot in here. Alright, so now we've got our bridge rectifier hooked up, or is mounted. Our controller's mounted. This is mounted. Now we just got to wire the motor and the power in. So we're going to take a cord and go in here from the wall, and like it was originally, and then everything else is going to be hooked up right in this area. So this here will go down in there such like that, and underneath there and into where we need it to be. This will go in there where it needs to be, just like that, and this will go to the motor. So we're going to take it and probably run it through this side and hook it to the motor. So there goes something like that right there. Alright, so that's going to be the next video. We just wanted to show the box mounted and the transformer mounted. So there you have my way of mounting that stuff. Now the next video is going to be wiring it up and cable management and stuff. We want this to look really good, so we're probably going to have to make some wire mounting brackets, stuff like that, and tidy up some wires, and that's going to be in the next video. So drew me out a diagram for this. Let's just see if I can stick with the diagram. It's all pretty simple to do. It's just, if you're not looking at it the right way, you're going to put the wrong wire in the wrong place. So anyway, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, and if you want to contribute to the Bison Workshop, you can do that through PayPal at bisonworkshop@gmail.com. You guys have a lovely day. Later.